Cool. Y'all ready?
Hey, we're Powder Wig Machine, and this is Holiest Bones.
Fingers soft as smoke, twist around my head, and then I see infinity finally whistle for in this misty bath so new. I burst apart. I burst apart. Sending ripples to wake into my head with steady bound. Suddenly my body ignites. I crave winters, smolder deep, signal smoke. I pop mine. I find mine. I pop mine. Ooh, I pop mine.
Hi, I'm Patricia. I sing and play guitar in Powder Wig Machine.
Hey, I'm Daniel Regosa. I play drums.
I am Alex Moorhead, and I play the bass.
So the character was actually part of a performance art group that I was in called Black Sheep for a little while. We came up with the character for this promo that we were doing to get people to come to our Valentine's Day show. So it was like right before the pandemic. So kind of dicey on if it might have caused a pandemic. I don't know. Maybe. You guys be the judge of that. I don't know. But we did it, and it was like a lot of people liked it, and I was playing a lot of different characters, so with all kinds of things, with Powder Wig Machine, with like Black Sheep. So then I was like, yeah, I want to do a Patricia episode. So I did that, and I was like, that's, we're gonna put it to bed with that. And then people still wanted me to keep doing it, so I was like, well, if I'm gonna keep doing it, then I'm going to play music. And then I started playing shows, and then I was like, you know what? I think I want to do this instead. Doing a web series is hard work. You're casting, you're writing, you're acting, you're directing, you're doing props, you're doing everything, So I don't know, it gets very draining. Patricia was originally like a cooking show host, but she moonlights as a serial killer. I kind of more or less contributed to some of the look to the character. I went with the bouffant-wigged. I like this idea of her like becoming a rock star. She's like, oh, I'm kind of tired with being a serial killer and a cooking show host. I think I'm gonna be a rock star now. Bugs Bunny, #1 all the way, because Bugs was, Bugs was always like cool and funny, but when Bugs was in drag, Bugs was another level. Bugs was invincible. Bugs was like Mario when he gets the mushroom or something in the game. So I don't know, I kind of always saw that as like, oh, yeah, that gives me that extra, boost of confidence, Some people do, makeup before they get on stage, and it's like war paint, and I don't disagree. As it was conceived as a web series, it's kind of funny because this guy came up to me last night. He was like, oh, you guys have a vinyl. So there was a band called Powder Wig Machine, probably like in their 2010s maybe, but I don't know what happened to them. I think the wind blew them into the Pacific Ocean. I don't know exactly what happened. But I conceived it as a web series, so I was like, we'll take this name of like collective of musicians called Desert Sessions, and they had this song called Powder Wig Machine, and it was like mechanical kind of sounding, but like kind of organic too. And I was like, okay, I could just picture like the rhythm of the song and then it just stamping wigs down. And that's where I was like, okay, because I'm going to play a different character in every episode. So I kind of like that. So that's why I went with that.
This is a little ditty called Let Me Be Your Woman. Lebowski, be my damsel of death. When you fall asleep, while down the street, there's a knife that you wanted. Let me be a woman. Let me be a woman. Mention my standards while I hold you close, and we'll never start over. Till the ashes of my heart, it's what I've always wanted. This next song is called The Shift.
I'm definitely a big fan of like Unwound, Radiohead, Queens of the Stone Age, Fiona Apple, Etta James, Ella Fitzgerald, all of those. Daniel, what are you into?
I was into the Bad Brains and punk rock, and I just really like the powerful, upbeat like tempo and just banging of the drums, I guess.
I'd say jazz is a good influence. The OCs, Tame Impala. I know it's an obvious one, but he's got some of the greatest bass lines in my opinion.
I have like a pretty big bank of like songs that I've been working on for a long time, and I draw from that. And it's kind of like an interesting meeting because it's like I'll have something that I was playing like 10 years ago that I have a demo of that I'm like, because when you come with a good riff or a good like chord structure or something, especially if it's in like an alternate tuning, it's kind of hard to want to let that go. So a lot of times I'll have like more interesting concepts for them lyrically that I'll apply. So it's almost like a meeting of myself of like the present and the past. And then I'll just jam them out with these guys. Holiest Bones, for example, a song that we're playing, is it's kind of about like a time that I spent in Austin, and I met this bartender, and she was just like a dreamboat, and I was like, I'll probably never see this person ever again. But I feel so inspired just talking to her, and just like, because she was like kinetic. There was like this energy between us, and I was just like, man, I'm never gonna see you again. It kind of speaks to the kind of the ephemeral nature of everything in life, of good and bad. It all just kind of comes and goes. Glory Days is about I was playing like maybe like penny bets with some friends on a game, and I just felt like I was like, are we old ladies? And I was like, man, it'd be funny if like do a song or like an episode. At the time, it was like thinking about the web series, like, oh, we should do an episode like where there's these old ladies and they're like putting penny bets down, and then all of a sudden one of them puts $1 down, and then things get a little out of hand, it just escalates. And then so the first half of the song is told from perspective of Barbara, one of the old ladies, and then the second half of the song is told from perspective of a KINS 5 news anchor that's commenting on the carnage that has ensued.
Honestly, everyone's willingness to support each other. I've lived across the country a little bit here and there and delved into like some of their scenes a little bit. And some of them are it's a little bit harder to get stuff started, or maybe the scene is a little more fractured. But here everyone's like, if someone has an idea and somebody else hears about it, they would be so willing to help out, put on whatever it is that they're trying to do. And it's just a warm environment.
I love how everyone kind of comes together as a community, kind of like if there's like a DIY show, and whether it's you need bands or art or vendors, and everyone just kind of calls their friends to like work with them essentially. So I think that's really cool. And then just playing music with these guys and just getting a taste of what's currently going on in the city, music-wise, is super cool. And then everything that kind of mixes into that, whether it's, handcrafting art or painting or, any sort of art, or, obviously that's cool.
Barbecue. Next question.
The song's called Horizon Gasp.
would be interesting to try to have like, I don't know, like somebody to really like a group of musicians to get together and be like, okay, let's think of like guerrilla ways to promote how to like just get people into the doors. Like, I mean, God, we live in one of the most populated cities in Texas and in the United States. Like, we just got to figure out ways to get people in. I'm sure this isn't, you know, it's a bit of a drawback for some, but, you know, I think others like, and then others don't know about it. I think you get buried in the algorithm. You get buried in just the static. And it's like, how do you rise above the static? You know, how do you do a poltergeist? How do you like reach through the TV and grab people and pull them in?
Make a TikTok.
Benevolently.
I think promoting the event goes a long way. And then I think overall, like just coming up with a good idea for a show, not just a show, creating like an actual event out of it. And yeah, definitely promoting and then, you know, marketing that show to, you know, a crowd you want or just anyone. But I think promoting is a big one. Because a lot of people just want to throw a show together and like, let's just make it happen, you know?
There are so many levels to experiment upon, and it's like, I don't know, now, you know, 50 years ago, you'd be thinking about one particular way. Like here we are on the ground, we're thinking of different ways to come at it. But now we have to think about the internet. And the internet's like this other like universe that exists, you know, concurrently with us, but separately of us too, you know? We're in a conundrum. I figured it out. So we get the like the venue to basically use the crowd, and then they have to like perform tasks around it, and they pay the crowd by paying the band because then they get to hang out. I figured it out. So we've been working on a new record for about 2 years now. We put out like a covers EP back in December, but we've been working on this record. Alex just joined us in January, and he's definitely contributed to probably like the back half of the record, but Daniel and I have been working on this record for like about 2 years. I think right after we finished the first record, we wrote The Shift, and that's been like the #1 kind of thing. And so or at least that's been the first one that we did for the record. And then over the summer, we took a little time off when Valerie Champion was in the band. So yeah, that's, we're shooting, we have, I don't know, 9 songs I think that we're looking to make into the record. And yeah, just we have like artwork in the works. There's a pretty, I think, a rock solid kind of loose concept behind everything for that record, which has kind of guided what it is. And I mean, we've had some covers on like some of our previous releases, but no covers. You know, we're kind of pushing that aside. I mean, I love doing a good cover, especially if it's like a different take on something, but moving on, doing something for us.
Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
On the street.
On the street, yeah.
We have a Facebook?
Well, so it's like one of those things
Not
where like
Facebook,
Instagram posts for Facebook because Meta is together. You know, it's like, what is it, like the 2-legged races, 3-legged races?
In every universe.
eBay,
Yeah.
Facebook Market.
At Powdered Wig Machine. And our Venmo, too. Patricia usually goes to a big coffee table and slams her fist down and says, this is what's happening. No, I basically like have a bunch of things that I've been working on for a while that I'll kind of develop a bit, and then I'll take it to the band and like we'll jam on things and just basically see what we like or what is gelling a little
kind of
quicker.
works, yeah.
And then from there, once it seems like we got something kind of cooking, we'll I'll like go and try to like come up with some melodies and things like that for it and flesh it out. And then it's trial by fire. We'll go to the live stage and we'll just play the new songs and see what works, what doesn't. Sometimes that's really helped too with like writing, because it's like you'll have like a song where you're like, man, this verse is great. Man, this chorus is cool. Lordy, it slumps in the middle. Like, what do we got to do with this? How do we build it up? How do we, work on the dynamics? Which has been great with having Alex in the band too, because Alex is very into like the dynamics and the song structure.
Hi, we're Powder Wig Machine, and the song is called Glory Days. Glory days given to us by the wise almighty Lord. 10 parks in his minute, we gonna march on the Jews' rule. Blackjack, Chico fish, have always been running Buenos Cascades, gonna sing you a little soul. Troublemaker puts it all down the stacks. Says, sorry, y'all, but why do we have to wait till under our grave? Well, who am I to raise my voice? Who am I to harp that day? Who am I to squash your thrills or satiate a little soul? Face your back! Face your back! Train never time me! Honey and dollar never lose a day! Face your back! Face your back! Train never time me! Honey and dollar never face a rent! Richardson for the life of Ken's 5. Police were called to the bloody scene by staff at 8:45. Meredith Smith, the Barbara Castle, pocket pistols locked in a drawer. June Ivy, a former cook, lay dead on the concrete floor. Andrew Jackson's, Ben Franklin's, faces scattered under the gore. Rolling torches, fire jewelry, broken buses turning to trash. And who am I?